Injections and patches have dosages chosen. There are 100 microgram patches which release approximately 100 micrograms into the blood. Estradiol cypionate, which is an injection, gives pretty stable levels. I don't understand how the dosage can't be properly chosen. Would you please explain? I'd like to, I apologize. I'd like to understand this question a little better, but I want to give you some ideas that got sparked from this question. Let's talk patches first. They're very uniquely described in medicine because all the time when we're talking about something that's applied to the skin, we usually talk about it as the amount of milligrams that is applied to the skin. Patches have a totally different ritual. They somehow have come up with the amount of micrograms that are actually delivered to the bloodstream. And, you know, we've made a rough equivalency there. And something like the 0.075 microgram patch, that's smaller than the 100 microgram patch. This is the 0.75 milligram patch, which is 75 micrograms, excuse me. That's roughly equivalent to 1.7 milligrams of estradiol equivalent applied to the skin. So the 75 micrograms is dosage delivered. The 1.7 milligrams of estradiol equivalent is average in my practice of dosages applied. And so the 100 microgram patch, which is the strongest patch, is a little more robust than what's average in my practice, and some women can tolerate it. Now, those patches are changed twice a week. And what we're really looking for is daily steady dose. And pharmacokinetics say that when you first apply the patch, you have the richest amount, and then gradually that amount declines. It's not like that patch can deliver, at least in my way of seeing things, the exact same dose all the time, every minute. And same with injections. I mean, unless women are injecting every day, and really with estrogen, they should be injecting twice a day because we don't want to see estrogen peaks. Every time you do an injection, you get a peak. So we like to modify, even with topical estrogen application, to twice a day. Anyone taking Biest is taking it in our menopause method twice a day. So to avoid a single big peak, we do two smaller peaks, because in the world of estrogen, we don't want peaks or large peaking of dosages going into the bloodstream. We want to minimize those. That's what the ovary did. It didn't give one blast of estrogen in the morning. The other thing about these patches and these injections is they're estradiol. Whereas if you read my book, and you can download our book for no charge, a PDF copy on our website, on our Facebook page, we're calling for Biest, in which we've got 4 times as much estriol, most commonly, in any given prescription than we do estradiol, for very specific reasons that relate to calming a breast down and not having it do proliferation of producing new breast glandular cells. Estriol is one of the great modulators of this. So what you're hearing from me is challenges to these two methods of giving estrogen. And you know, if they were the only methods in the whole entire planet, I'd say, all right, do them. It's better than no estrogen at all, which is what happens to women in menopause. Most women have 0 to very little estrogen, certainly not enough to protect their vagina, their bones, their arteries, their brain, their skin, their bladder. So yes, if these were the only 2 methods on earth, I would say bravo, but they're not. The science and the exquisite details of how to individualize for each given woman the amount of estrogen she needs, the amount of testosterone, the amount of progesterone, and the amount of DHA, in my opinion, is quite a bit further, if not a great deal further advanced than patches and injections. And again, estradiol alone, no, not state of the art. Why not have a lot of protective estriol on there? Somewhere between 3 and 4 times as much is very common to have estriol over estradiol. So, Not only that, each woman is so individual that we think a far more intricate system is needed to adjust the dosages. So, for example, if you download my book, we're dealing with drops, like 2 drops in the morning and 3 drops in the evening. And if you need a little extra, you're only increasing your dosage by 20%. And if you need a little less, you're only decreasing your dosages by 20%. We have all this mathematically calibrated. The moral of the story is, I don't think there's anything on the planet as elegant and as exquisite as our organic oils that can be delivered in drops, and you can modulate the applied estrogen in the form of bias dosage by 0.44 milligrams per drop, or we can even make it, we can customize it to whatever milligram amount we want per drops, because there's so much flexibility when you're working with compounded bioidentical hormones in an organic oil space. So I'm hoping that addresses the question as you said it. If these are the only things that you had, okay, but there's so much more advancement in this whole treating of women in menopause with bioidentical hormones, right down to minuscule dosage adjustments to customize it for each individual woman. Thank you for this question.